Hey guys, how's it going? My name is always and welcome back to Stoneblock. In the last episode, we were making some automation. We're not going to go look at them, but we made some solar panels way up top that are hopefully going to give us some more power. Because power is something that we're kind of struggling with. We have our mining laser down below that is slowly giving us things we need. But yeah, we just don't have enough power to actually power it and keep our base up and running. So we added a couple of mechanism solar generators, the advanced ones, and hopefully that'll help, but we'll kind of play it by ear. If we need to add more power, we can. But one thing that we need to do is start storing more power. And so I've been looking into that a little bit, and if my math is correct, we have the ultimate energy cube. This is something from Mechanism. It's not too awful to make, but it stores 51.2 mega RF. I didn't realize that was mega RF. I thought that was mega joules. Okay, so that goes a lot of that stuff. So that is 500 million RF, I think. But what we can do, let's actually make a resonant upgrade kit. So that requires a lumium gear, and I think we have pretty much everything else. We need some pyrotheum dust, which is easy enough to get. It's weird that those are not animated. I turned the animations off a long time ago, and I don't remember how to turn it back on, so I haven't yet. But yeah, so if that's 500, it would be 512 million RF, I do believe. Is that more than what this stores? That by a lot, but is it more than the resonant version? Yes. So maybe we look into making ultimate energy cubes, which would not be completely awful, other than the infusion factory. That is not a problem, actually. Unless we try to make two things at once. Decisions. So, in the meantime, let's grab some iron. I want to do something, because this has been bothering me, and it's an interesting little thing we can do. So, whenever we go up and down the elevators, wherever we're looking, depends on which way we came up. So, unfortunately, just because of how I've set things up in the base, things are not the nicest. And so what we're going to do is we're going to break this, and we're going to change this elevator into a rotating elevator, and we're going to have this right here. So I believe it doesn't matter which way we're looking, we'll always face forward, which is exactly what I want. And we're going to put that there. Now up here, do we want to look at the chickens? I think we want to look at the chickens. So we're going to do the same thing. And it's just 2 iron, so it's not that big of a deal. And so chickens, and it doesn't matter which way we look, we always look the same way. Down here, I think we're gonna want to look straight ahead as well. So we'll look at our storage, because I think that will be the best. And we'll just do the same thing. So just to make things a little bit nicer. Anyways, we should be getting a good bit of power now. And so this will charge up more. We'll kind of keep an eye on what we want to do. I think we might actually automate making the ultimate energy cell, which let's actually change that to that one, just so we can look at it. It does require atomic alloys, which requires refined obsidian. And then we also need to do diamond dust. And the refined obsidian is made from diamond as well. So there is some things we can do with that. Most of the times I would make multiple infusion factories. And we could, I guess. But I don't know if we need to. So we'll kind of keep that on the back burner for now. So real quick, I want to make this thing called an Ender Inhibitor active. An Ender Inhibitor. So this thing should hopefully prevent Endermen from teleporting around within 8 blocks. So we're just going to put it right there. And hopefully that will prevent the evolved Enderman from teleporting around as well. We'll see if that works better than the other thing we had. Now, last thing before we get into the meat of today's episode, which honestly, I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to kind of just mess around with some things. I still need to clean up all that stuff. But we can make some more seeds, I do believe. Well, I've prepped seeds, I should say. There is a lot of seeds to make, and I've prepped them. We need to get a lot more Infernium. I forgot about that. Whoops. Oh well. I will set that up. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and set that up right now. So we're going to put a garden cloche. And this thing is going to need water. But I think an aqueous accumulator just by itself should be efficient if we prime it a little bit. And let's see. We can probably put this right here. Aqueous accumulator. We put that there. And is this getting water? Auto output is enabled, so we'll see if that gets water. And then we're going to want some things. You know, we should maybe set up some things to do. You know, maybe that's what we'll do. We'll look into a couple of things that will make my life a little bit easier. And I believe it's also quests. So, item conduits. And then we're going to need a flux point. I can never remember. And then we'll also grab a bucket of water while we're down here. And make sure that we can get the Infernium. We're also going to need a piece of dirt. So that we can get Infernium kind of being made. So, does this have water in it? No. You don't either. So let's actually do something like this. And this is very much temporary. And we'll just make sure this is well lit. We need to have power. Network. Main. And then we can get that. Extract always active. Has power. We should have somewhere around here. It's tier 6 Infernium seed. We'll just go ahead and put that in here. I cannot. Why can I not plant this? Does this not get planted on? No, it does. Okay. Strange. Let's grab some more water. Because all the other seeds seem to work, so is this one like blacklisted or something? There's always a possibility. And then that's not also that's also not working. Does it need to be inserted through a different like part? Let's see. I don't remember how I had this before, so let's take this water out and let's move that forward. And I think that is where we need to actually have the liquid coming in. And what we can actually do is just use the fluid tank that we had before. And configure. Push. And that should be filling up with water. Perfect. So I have no idea why this stuff might not be working. But at the very least, we can start getting Infernium and go from there. So what we can do always is just put another seed in there. Let's make sure this is Let's see. This needs to be turned off. This needs to have an insert on. Let's do lime. Extract on lime. Always active. And I kind of want to wait until that's fully grown before we do anything to it. But I do believe we have some fertilizer essence. That's not the mystical fertilizer. That's a different thing. Forgot. Mystical fertilizer. Let's grab some of that. Because we could always theoretically use the tier 1. But yeah, that should give us... It gives us 6 Infernium per. So, I don't know why that's... We can plant the tier 1. We can't plant the tier 6. So, let's see if we can't upgrade the tier 1 and potentially get better thing. So, let's get this to a tier 2. And will that still work? Or do the tiers not work? No, that works just fine. Alright. Maybe it's just the tier 6. Because it's not mystical agriculture. So I wonder if we have to have a tier 5. So we can put this back in here. Actually, that is my ready to go stuff. This needs to go in here. And we just need a little bit more of intermedium. And then let's get a tier 4. Make sure that the tier 4 works. It does. So we just need 8 supremium, and then we can start making more, potentially the next tier. And that should be good enough to get us what we need. So yeah, that is going to produce 4 Infernium pretty much all constantly. So we'll just let that do its thing. Power. It is still daytime. We should still be gaining power. We are. So hopefully that is enough power to kind of not have to worry about making more power for a while, or getting more storage, or actually, yeah, making more power for a while. And we can continue getting the Erodium crystals, which takes forever. We have 12. We need 54, I do believe. But let's go ahead and do some questing. And also something that's going to help us out a lot. So one of the quest lines is storage. And one of the quest lines we've kind of ignored is the security manager, wireless grid, and wireless crafting grid. So this is how we basically get wireless storage. And so that's what we're going to do. So we need to make a security manager. And to make this requires security cards, machine casing, and a chest. Okay, nothing looks too difficult. Network cards. Alright, so network card is advanced processors, so we're going to need 3 processors for each. So we're going to need 9 processors and a machine casing. So let's get like 10 of those. And the machine casing, go ahead and get one of those. Everything else should be pretty straightforward and easy. Paper we have plenty of. So we have all the advanced processors, so we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 1, 2, 3. And then we just need a chest, which the system knows how to make, so we'll just do that. Cool. So there is the security manager. That is a quest completed. We'll claim the loot chest. Now, I don't know if we need to activate the wireless grid. The player has to right-click the wireless grid on a controller. Okay. So I don't think we need the security manager for that. So next we're going to be making the wireless grid and the wireless crafting grid. Now these things do require power. which is not that big of a deal. There is a creative version, which I don't think we can make. So we need a grid, advanced processor. Okay, nothing too major. Do we know how to make the grid? No. So the grid is going to require, we need 2 improved and both of the cores. So let's get one of each of those. And the improved processors, we're going to need 2 of those. And then I think we need another machine chassis, which is easy enough. And there is the grid. And there is the wireless grid. Cool, so let's claim that reward. And the next is the wireless crafting grid, which should be just an upgrade. No, not exactly. Okay, well, we're going to throw that away. And we're going to make the wireless crafting grid. So we need an advanced processor, for one. I'm kind of disappointed that it doesn't just require... We're going to need another grid and another advanced processor. Okay. So, get one of those. Processor, we're going to need 2 of those. And then the cores, we're going to need 1 of each. Alright, so pretty straightforward, easy. Let's get the crafting, let's get the normal grid. We need the machine chassis. A casing. It's a casing, not a chassis. There are so many things that are called one or the other that I confuse them quite often. There is the crafting grid, and then there is the wireless crafting grid. So this is the one we're going to use because, well, we can craft with it. So if we just right-click that, it should be connected. And then we just need to get some power, which that's something else we're going to actually do. Oh man, that charges so fast. So theoretically, controller not found. Oh, it needed power. So right click, right. Did it say just right click? The wireless grid on the controller. Okay, so it should be working. No. This is my controller. Okay, so we need a wireless transmitter. From refined storage. So that is pretty easy. But it is a shift right click for the record. So we just need the casing and the processor again. But we have a lot of resources at this point, so it's not that big of a deal to make all this stuff. And there we go, wireless transmitter. And now we should be able to do wireless things. We're just gonna put this right there. And we have our crafting grid. We also have storage. So now we can kind of pull things out and put things back in as needed. And yeah, that's that. Cool. I want to sort by ID. That's how I always sort. So cool, that works. So we have 3 loot chests, and we can go ahead and use them. So we got Black Lotus. We have storage discs, which is actually really nice. And, ooh, the Awakened Draconium Crux. Alright, this is huge. That is another crux we do not have to make. And I've been putting those in there. So we have the Dragon Egg and the Awakened Draconium. There is only one other crux from Mystical Agriculture. No, there's 2. Neutronium needs 1. So you don't try to get Neutronium before you can. But that's not that bad to make. And then Nether Star, which is a little bit worse. So, cool. For the record, that thing required a Dragon Heart, a block of Awakened Draconium. Yeah, that's expensive. But we don't have to worry about that. Cool. Alright, Next thing I want to do, and this is just kind of a real quick thing. What are these called? Disk drives, probably? I gotta remember I don't have to... Yeah, disk drives. Can I get a disk drive? We have a bunch of disks. And so what I want to do is I want to increase storage by, well, putting these disks to use. So we need a disk drive. And... okay, we need to make a chest. That's easy enough. The casing and the machine and the processor, the advanced one. So everything that we've been making constantly, super easy. Alright, so we can make one of those. And in fact, we might want to teach the system how to make those. But now we can increase our storage. We could go ahead and make another one, to be honest. But now our storage is a lot more. And you know what? Let's go ahead and tell the system how to make all that stuff. So advanced processors, it knows. Machine casings, it knows everything. It just needs to know how to make the disk drive. And that is a craft. So we'll do that. And now it can make as many disk drives as we want. Well, let's make one more. And there it is. Cool. Alright, so now that we have something that uses power in our inventory, we might want to start storing power. And so for that, we're going to probably want... there's a couple of options. For the record, I want to mention this, by the way. Power storage. We could be using... you know, let's turn this off for right now. So for power storage, we could be using something else. Namely, we could make the Draconic Evolution energy sphere that stores ridiculous amounts of power. 100% we could do that. I don't want to. If we can avoid it, I'm not going to do that in this series because I've done it so many times before. It's really powerful, it's really good, but it's just really annoying to make and use. And I don't feel like it. So, plus it takes up so much room, I'd have to dig out a huge area to put it. And I don't want to do that in this series. So, we're going to stick with probably this guy for now, and then mechanism. There is a better mechanism power storage system, known as the Induction Coil. But those require lithium. And lithium is... oh boy, lithium is not fun to get. So the way you get it is through brine and a thermal evaporation controller. It's not the worst thing in the world. And making brine is another thermal evaporation controller. So basically, you set up a system to make lithium. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it is really annoying and very slow. So that's something that I kind of don't want to do either. So we'll just kind of stick with whatever we can get. We'll see. We are going to need a lot of power later on for Draconic Evolution. But hopefully we can have enough storage or something. We'll figure something out. We might end up making the mechanism version, but I don't know. So with that being said, let's get into... flux capacitors, I believe, is probably going to be the best thing. Or we could make batteries. But I think I want to make the flux capacitors. I almost never use those. So there's also magnets we could use. And these should be pretty cheap to make. So let's go ahead and make... I believe they are... yes, they are tiered. So there is the basic. Hardened... if we can get some hardened glass, so that is obsidian and lead. So that should not be too difficult. I think we have to crush the lead as well. Which one was it? It was the reinforced? So we could also make fused quartz, but that's not what I want to do. Let's just look up hardened glass. There's so many different versions, and they're all kind of equivalent. So 4 obsidian powder and pulverized lead, yeah, and that will make a couple. So that is nice. But so these flux capacitors, basically, they can be baubles, which is neat. We can equip it basically, and they make they charge things in our inventory. That's pretty much it. So Signalum, you know, let's go all out. Why not? So the Signalum is going to require cryothium dust. So we should have plenty of blizz rods. We can get some blizz powder and get the cryothium dust. And then for this one, we're going to need pyrothium dust, which is even easier. Cool. So yeah, this will allow us to make, oops, wrong one. The flux capacitors to the inderium stage, the resonant stage, and then we just have to charge this. And once this has power, which is going to use a lot of power, we don't have the power store. We don't have the power generation for too much of that. But I believe we just activate it, and then it should charge everything. But V to change charge mode. All right, let's see. Charging inventory. So that's charged, and that is charged. So that is, honestly, that's all we need. So we can just put that there, and we have basically portable charging power. Cool. So is there anything else we can do? Let's see about these quests. Let's see if we can get any of these done today. Then just kind of looking around at what we're going to need to do. Some of this stuff is not going to be fun. Draconic Evolution is honestly like one of the worst things, just because it's going to take a lot of power to do too much. And then Project E is also a little bit annoying. But let's go back to storage and black hole unit. Okay. Black hole tank. Okay, so we need black hole unit, black hole tank. Let's see. Black hole unit. Oops. Black hole tank. And what's the third item? The quantum tank. Let's see if we can't make these 3 items. Some of them should be pretty easy. I think the quantum tank is very easy. Black hole tank is not too bad, but it does require plastic. We can also make it with any sort of casing that we want. And honestly, let's get 2 of these because that looks like the simplest. We made the quantum tank, so we just need plastic. And to get plastic, we can use rubber essence. And I think we might... Alright, well that didn't work for those guys. Okay, I'm going to probably take that thing off the deactivate. Ooh, that is a problem. Is there a way to boost these? There's got to be. That might be something we want to look into. Because our base is bigger than what we can actually handle sending things around. Okay, so anyways, we have 3 rubber essence. I'm going to go harvest some more. There should be grains of infinity. I don't remember. rubber. Cool. So we're just going to harvest that. And we're going to get some plastic out of this. Now, is it enough plastic? I don't know. That is not the recipe. 8 plastic. Yes, it is. Cool. So let's head back down here. I throw loot bags in there so that we can not have to worry about that. We're going to put the quantum tank away. We're going to need a couple more Eyes of Enders. Let's get 3 of those. And there is the black hole tank. And then the black hole unit is the same thing, except it requires 2 chests, which is easy enough. Cool. So let's claim our loot. And I think let's go ahead and open those. And I think that's where we're going to end off the episode for today. So we have punchy sticks, boring, creative modifier. That's kind of nice. And resonant upgrade kit. That is actually really nice. Something, by the way, and I think I want to go ahead and do this. So conversion kits are really nice. And in order to make them, you have to have all the upgrade kits. So what we're going to do is we're going to teach the system how to make all of the upgrade kits. And then we can always make the conversion kits as well. So let's get the upgrade kits taught to the system. So easy enough. We do need to teach the bronze gear. And then we want just normal hardened glass. Because I don't think we can make fused quartz otherwise. So hardened glass is kind of the annoying thing. Although we could teach that recipe. It's not as good. But let's do this. I should have some hardened glass in here. And maybe eventually we'll teach the system how to make hardened glass. And silver gear is nice and easy. Signalum. We need to teach both the cryothium dust and how to get the bliss powder. Plus the electrum gear. Because I don't believe we know how to make any gears. Nope. And then the resonant requires aluminum gear and pyrotheum dust. Pyrotheum dust is nice and easy. And the aluminum gear is as well. So we do that. We'll put those down here. Did not work how I thought. And that is not where that goes. Okay, so unfortunately we have to manually put these in here. And I'm just going to quickly click them all in. And now we should be able to make upgrade kits. Now one thing that we'll want to do as well is teach the system how to make a conversion kit. And that is just to simplify. If we make a machine or something, we can just quickly upgrade it to the max. Cool. So for example, our pulverizer is a basic machine. If we get a little bit more lead, I'm actually going to get a stack of lead and a stack of obsidian and get 2 stacks of hardened glass. And I think we can just go ahead and do this. Yeah, that'll work just fine. You know, the sag mill might actually be better. Much better. Okay, cool. So I'm going to just get a bunch of this stuff going. And once we get one set of these, we should be able to make our first conversion kit. And the whole point of this is just to upgrade our machines. And then if we want to make a bunch of energy cells, we can upgrade those. So nice and easy, but super useful. So now we should be able to make a conversion kit. And everything, we should have everything there. There it is. And then all we have to do is come over here. Is it right click? And it's completely upgraded to Resident Tier. Which means it's going to have more power storage and it's going to go a little bit faster just kind of naturally. And there is all of that pulverized obsidian. Cool. So I'm going to make this, make a bunch of hardened glass. And I think the next thing, I think we can go ahead and let's wait for this to be done. But I think we can go ahead and upgrade the induction smelter. And then that also means we can make augments and all that kind of fun stuff. Let's make another conversion kit. And I do believe that will work just fine. Because I believe that's a basic. Yep. And it should go a little bit faster. So cool. So I'm going to make a bunch of hardened glass. And the next time, I think what we're going to do is... Oh man, we need to do a lot of things in terms of... We need more power generation. We need to start getting into a couple more mods. Namely, we need to do all of the applied energistic stuff. I'm going to look into if we can upgrade the wireless crafting grid to be farther range. If we pop down here, I know it said 16 blocks. I don't know if we can upgrade that or anything. So I'll look into that between episodes. But we need to do all the things for applied energistics. We need to get all of the extra utilities, generators made, and reactor. We can go ahead and make a reactor. Probably won't use it, but we could make one. We also need to get into Draconic Evolution and Project E. The Philosopher's Stone is definitely doable right now. We might have to resurrect the dragon, but I mean that's fine. So yeah, there is plenty of things to do. We also need to just kind of clean up the base a little bit. We also need to work on immersive engineering. So we'll probably next time, maybe we'll do the immersive engineering stuff just to get the coal coke. And then kind of go from there. I'm not entirely sure what else we'll do, but we'll figure some stuff out. So that is the plan. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!